Hello viewers, thank you for joining with me. Today we will discuss about a static method or function in Java. We need a static keyword to declare a static method. This is the first thing we can learn how to define a static method. So a static method can call only other static method. It cannot call a non-static method directly. A static method can be called directly from the class, but we don't have to create an instance to call the static method if it is in the same class. A static method can only access static variables. We cannot access an instance variable in a static method. Since a static method refers to the class, so we can call a static method by using a class name dot the method name. Since we cannot call a non-static method in a static method directly, so we have to create an instance to call the non-static method in a static method. So let's go and see some practical examples that what we have discussed so far. So let me open the Eclipse. So as you see, I have created a class called static method in Java, and I declare main method, and as you see the main method is static. So now let me declare some static variables that can be used in our static method. So let's say if I declare static string, and let me put the string name is my variables. Let's declare some other static method variables static, let me do it integer this time, and my values. That's an integer static variables. We also can declare the variables like this: public, static. This time we can do double as a type of variables. So let me do my face. So I declare three static variables. As you know, when you create a static variables, we have to use the static keyword to declare the static variables, as well as when we create a static method, we need to have a static keyword in the method, so we can call it a static method. So this main method is static because the static keyword is there. Let me create one more static method so that I can call all the static variables in the static method. So before I create a static method, let me create a instance variable as well. So if I create a instance variable my string, this is my instance variable. So now let's go and create a, let me put some comments, it will be easy to understand for you guys. Instance variables, and I put here static or class variables. Okay, so now let me declare a static method. So we can start with public. As I said, we need a static keyword to declare a static method. So I'll do static void, and let me put the name my static method, and add a parenthesis to close the method. So now in this static method we can call these static variables, not any instance variables that we have learned on my slides. So now, since I have not assigned any value of any one of the static variables, let me assign some values for these variables. If I copy this, so since it's a string, so let me put some string variables in it. So I'm going to write in here, we can call static variables in a static method. That's the value for these variables that I have declared on top. So now if I would like to print, so if you want to print in a shortcut version, it should be SYSO control space and then enter. Now I would like to print the values of these my variables in my static method. As I said before, we cannot call an instance variable in a static method. So if I want to call, I didn't assign the values for a static method. Similarly, I have not assigned the values for instance variable as well. So if I want to put some values for this, you see it will give me an error. So what kind of error it is? It says change my string to a static. So the compiler is asking you to change the status of this variable and make it a static. That's why we say we cannot call a instance variable in a static method. So if I save it and if I run it from my main method, how do I call it? As I said, we can call a static method by calling the class name as well as the method name. So my class name is static.method. So let me put it here, and if I put dot, and you see my method is there, my static method. So we can call this method like this. Now we can save it and run it. So sprint, we can call a static variables in a static method. If you want to run, since we are running from the same class, so you can call this method itself without calling the class name. It will work too. Let me run and run it. You see it prints twice. So you can call like this, class name dot method name or method name itself directly. Alright, so that's how we can call a static method in a main method. And we said we can call a static method in another static method directly, but we cannot call a non-static method in a static method directly. We need to have an instance for that. So now let's create a non-static method. Public void. So since we are creating non-static method, we are not gonna add static keyword in this method. Non-static method. So close this, add the bracket. So now we can call a non-static variables in a non-static method. So if I want to assign the value this, it will not show me any error. If I put the values like this, you see there is no error. So I can call in, we can call instance variables in a non-static method, right? Now I can print it like this. If I would like to print it, I can print it like this. So now we declared a non-static method. So if I would like to call this non-static method in a static method, I have to create an instance of the class to call this. If I call it directly, so if I do it like this, the way we did for a static method, let's see what happened. I call this and I put dot, and where is my I don't see my non-static method, you see. So let me copy it from there. So it's giving me an error. What is saying? Change non-static method to static. Since it's not static and the main method is static, that's why we are not able to call a non-static method in a static method. To call that, we have to create an instance for that class. So now let me create an instance. Okay, static method in Java equals to new close bracket. So now if I call using this object or instance, it will not give me any error. Now you see the error is gone. So that's why we're saying we can call a non-static method in a static method by creating an instance. If I run it right now, so you see it prints the value because we put a space right here. That's why you get a space right there as well. So now save it. If we run it, so you'll see the result. So if we would like to recap the whole session, so let me open my slide one more time. We said we can call a static method by using a static keyword that we have done with over here. We use a static keyword to declare a static method. We said we can call a static method in another static method directly. That is what we did. We call this static method in another static method directly without creating an instance. We also learned we can call a non-static method in a static method by creating an instance. So we have creating an instance of that class and call by using the object of that class we call the non-static method in our main method. So that's all from my side. Thank you for watching it. Stay tuned with me.